Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. You know, if you've been around this channel long enough, one of the things I've always said is they have to put the story before the message. And unfortunately, modern Marvel and DC nowadays even, for some of DC books and a lot of Marvel books, they're putting the story or the message before the story. It doesn't matter what the story is so long as they can hit you over the freaking head with what they believe. And if you don't believe it, then you're a Nazi, you're a racist, you're a homophobe. And we've experienced this over and over and over again and just want a reprieve from it a little bit. Just take a break for a while. Now, I was willing to go into Captain Marvel and watch the film with an open mind. The more Brie Larson tweets, the more she talks, the more she says anything, the less willing I am. I want to, because that's the only way, in my opinion, to run a YouTube channel. You have to be open-minded. You have to give an honest assessment. And I know some people out there just love the negativity, so YouTubers are negative because that's what sells. I'm sorry, I cannot be that guy. I have to be honest. But to tell you the truth, I am having a hard time looking at this movie with an open mind anymore. And it's getting worse every freaking time this wooden plank opens her mouth. And I gotta tell you, I don't see it. I didn't see it in the room. The boy that played her son was a hell of a lot better than her. If you watch, what was that, Shoot to Kill or whatever it was, Fight Fire with Fire, whatever that movie was, it's a really cool film with Armie Hammer. She was the worst thing about it. She is not a charismatic actress. But until this article, I was still willing to go in open-minded. Now, I just don't know. The article is called Brie Larson is Ready to Kick Some Ass, and it's written by Sanaa Amanat. Ah, you know who that is, right? I'm a Marvel comic book editor as well as the co-creator of Kamala Khan, a Muslim American hero whose idol happens to be Captain Marvel. The very role that Larson, now age 29, is playing in movie theaters around the world this month. Kamala Khan is actually one of the better of the identitarian heroes, I would say. So I really don't have anything against that. However, it's been rumored and basically flat out said that Sanaa Amanat is also the main one to blame for all the identitarian politics in Marvel Comics these days. So I don't think the article is going to be exactly, let's say, unbiased. Anyway, let's get to it. Part of the reason Larson took on the role of Marvel's ultimate feminist icon, Captain Marvel, is due to the character's own sense of humanity. She didn't apologize for herself, Larson explains. I felt like that was a really valuable trait because she is incredibly flawed and makes a lot of mistakes and has to ask to atone for them, and that is super valuable. She's not ever shrinking herself down. And this is why you get awkward stories with Captain Marvel where she doesn't apologize to people that she either almost got killed or almost killed herself. All the while, they seem to be like, well, that's just a Tuesday. It's okay you almost got me killed and almost killed me. It's the most awkward and bizarre crap. And yes, I'm referring to James Rhodes and Tony Stark. That's what happened with these characters. Civil War III ruined Captain Marvel. A little bit more so than just the constant reboots and retellings of the origins and just, oh my gosh. They have messed Captain Marvel up so much. It's also linked back to her mission of filmmaking with a purpose. The movie was the biggest and best opportunity I could have ever asked for, Larson says. It was like my superpower. This could be my form of activism, doing a film that can play all over the world and be in more places than I can be physically. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Message before story. I picked this up because I thought it would be good to spread my message. Not because the story was good, but because she thought it would be able to help her agenda. Got to get that agenda out there. No, tell the story first. Look, Wonder Woman became a feminist icon because she was a powerful and interesting character. because she was powerful enough to stand with the big guys. And she proved it. Decades worth of stories. That's how she became a feminist icon. They are thrusting Captain Marvel in your face and saying, this is her. Wonder Woman earned her spot in the Trinity. While Marvel just said, from now on, Captain Marvel's the one you got to look out for. Forget all of the continuity. Forget everything you knew, everything you loved. Captain Marvel. This is all unearned. While she felt immediately drawn to the role, making the decision was challenging. Larson was sworn to secrecy about the offer and felt she had to make the decision in a vacuum. She was even too nervous to seek her mother's advice. Her first wardrobe fitting might as well have been done under the cloak of invisibility. It was very weirdly emotional, and I just keep thinking, oh my god, am I going to be a Disneyland character? She is. There's a Captain Marvel already on a Disney cruise. Yep, there is a Disney's Marvel Cruise Line. And look, kids get a blast out of it, and I can understand that. And look, Captain Marvel can be exactly what they want. They can be something for little girls to look up to. A feminist hero if they want. It's just the modern day definition of feminism and what they're trying to push. This agenda first starts off with girls being victims, and I can't get behind that. That's why I'm not into this whole new wave of feminism. And the whole point that they're just ramming it down the throat without any merit, just it makes it even worse. To understand the significance of this role, here's a swift lesson in Marvel history. Captain Marvel, whose civilian identity as Carol Danvers, had been known as Ms. Marvel since 1968. In 2012, Ms. Marvel's bathing suit-like attire was revamped into the red, blue, and gold uniform that alludes to Danvers' Air Force background, and she was reintroduced to audiences as Captain Marvel. As Marvel's Vice President of Creative Development, Stephen Wacker puts it, she is Earth's mightiest hero, period. Not Earth's mightiest female hero. The funny thing is how accepted she was as Ms. Marvel in the 2000s. That was a good run, and people liked that run of Ms. Marvel. The problem is this guy, period. You should accept it now, except for the thing is that wasn't the way it was forever and a day. Now you can say, okay, they rebooted the universe and therefore things change and now she's on top. Except for she's not on top because she constantly has to be told, or we have to be told that she's on top. We didn't put her there, and that's why this is fake. The readers tell you who the best characters are. Now they could say, okay, yeah, she's the most powerful. Okay, fine, that doesn't go. But they're trying to make her the most prominent, and that's what I was actually talking about. They get to say who's the most powerful. We get to say who's the most prominent. I know people get mad when I say that, but there is a reason why Spider-Man, not Captain America, is the face of Marvel Comics. It's because that's who readers glommed onto a lot more. Doesn't mean Captain America is insignificant within the Marvel Universe. It just means that is who is more popular, and that's who is more prominent. As editor of the Captain Marvel comic, I witnessed firsthand how the audience transformed around Danvers' reimagining. A contingency of superfans coined the Carol Corps, celebrated the change as a sign that comics were becoming more welcoming to female audiences. Well, the Carol Corps is full of crap, because comic books have been open to whomever wanted to buy them, period. And usually it was guys or girls who felt ostracized and lost, and they were trying to find something to believe in. That is the general comic book audience until Iron Man hit in 2008. Larson compares her role as Captain Marvel to seeing Indiana Jones for the first time when she was young. I remember losing my mind, she says. Harrison Ford's character became her ideal. I couldn't think of a female equivalent, she says. There was Sigourney Weaver and Alien, of course, but there wasn't enough of that spectrum of confidence and sass and a little bit of a mess, just a mix of everything. Women weren't allowed to do that. When she got the first draft of the Captain Marvel script, she finally found her female Indy. She may have seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know. Didn't know her. Couldn't say. But just by what she told us that she thought about Ripley, fucking Ripley from Aliens, she didn't see the movie. She did not. If she doesn't think that Ripley is full of sass, She did not see that movie. I'm sorry. You cannot convince me of it. Imagine the conceit on a person like that to go after Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, of all people. You want to talk about female action heroes, you dumb blonde? Jesus Lord in heaven, you go after freaking Ripley? Saving the universe would take a great deal of preparation. Larson endured intense physical training for 9 months and was able to deadlift over 200 pounds and hip thrust over 400 pounds. There's video proof on Instagram of the latter, after which she dropped the weights and scarfs down a cookie. I can understand that. Larson even pushed her trainer's Jeep uphill. That's pretty badass. The movie is not really going to look any different with the fact that I can actually lift 225 pounds. It doesn't matter to anyone else, but it did to me, she says with a sense of pride. Breaking that boundary of what it means for a woman to be muscular and strong and own your own body and use it as a tool, that felt meaningful. This is a friend of mine from Thailand. I think she would say something about the fact that you, Brie Larson, broke some boundaries on musculature in the female body. This is a freaking Thai woman, okay? They're supposed to be teeny and tiny. She will kick my ass. Oh my goodness gracious. If Brie Larson used words like, I broke through my own boundary or something like that, where she made it personal, then okay, it would be a decent sentence. But the way she puts it here, breaking that boundary of what it means for a woman, oh, God, just shut it already. It's amazing to me that Brie Larson speaks about women's empowerment, yet she seems to have such low thoughts about women. Honestly, do you get the feeling from what she says that she has any confidence or any respect for women at all? You know what? I'm done. I'm not going to read through the rest of it. This part right here, she's talking about how she wants to make sure it's only women that she works with, women behind the camera, women that shoot her on for magazines and newspapers, so forth, so on. And I'm sorry, that's not inclusion as she says it is. That is selective exclusion, okay? You're not a big hero. You're actually everything you say you hate, you are doing, period. Go by merit. That's the best way. If the person that can do the job better is a woman, absolutely fine. If it's a man, absolutely fine. No matter color, creed, no matter race, no matter gender, no matter sexuality or whatever, the best person for the job, period. Otherwise, like I said, you are selectively excluding people. You dumb person, you. So what do you think about all of this, about Brie Larson choosing this role to push an agenda? And what do you think about the fact that it looks like they are putting the agenda before the story in Captain Marvel? From everything we saw, the future is female, the Marvel, you know, the whole thing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please click like, share, comment on it. And if you haven't done it already, hit subscribe and that notification bell. That's the only thing YouTube cares about, if they bother to care at all. Also, please help out this channel. Go on over to Patreon, go on over to Ko-Fi. There is supporter-only content on there, so you do get a bang for your buck. And help the channel out, helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.